Have you ever looked at a world map and wondered what it would look like if history had taken a different turn? What if the outcome of World War II was completely different? Let's explore a chilling alternate reality where Germany and the Axis powers were victorious. First, let's look at Europe. The continent would be almost unrecognizable. Germany would have annexed vast territories, creating a greater Germanic Reich. This would include not just Germany and Austria, but also Poland, the Czech Republic, the Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, and large parts of France and Russia. Scandinavia might exist as puppet states, completely under German influence. The rest of France would likely be a collaborationist state, similar to Vichy France. But on a permanent basis, Britain, if not conquered, would be isolated and powerless, stripped of its empire and influence. The Soviet Union would be shattered. The lands west of the Ural Mountains would be colonized by German settlers, a concept they called Lebensraum, or living space. Moscow and Leningrad would likely be razed to the ground, with new German cities built in their place. What about the rest of the world? Germany's ally, Italy, would have realized its dream of a new Roman Empire, controlling the Mediterranean. This would include southern France, the Balkans, Greece, and large swaths of North and East Africa. But the biggest change would be in the Pacific. Imperial Japan, the third major Axis power, would dominate East Asia and the Pacific Ocean. They would have solidified their control over China, Korea, and Southeast Asia, creating what they called the Greater East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere. Australia and New Zealand would be under constant threat, possibly even occupied. The Philippines, a former US territory, would be firmly under Japanese rule. And what about the United States? In this timeline, the US would likely have been forced into a truce after losing its Pacific Fleet and facing a two-front war against dominant powers in Europe and Asia. America's position would be precarious. They might have lost Hawaii and other Pacific islands. The nation would be locked in a tense, perpetual Cold War, not with the Soviet Union, but with a global Axis bloc. The world would be divided into three spheres of influence: the German Reich in Europe and Africa, the Japanese Empire in Asia and the Pacific, and a weakened, isolated America. The technological and social landscape would also be drastically different. German engineering and science, now unopposed, would likely have put the first man on the moon and developed nuclear weapons without competition. Society would be structured along the rigid, oppressive ideologies of the victors. Freedom of speech, democracy, and human rights as we know them would be non-existent in the vast territories controlled by the Axis. It would be a world of surveillance, control, and brutal suppression of any dissent. This alternate map isn't just a change in borders. It represents a fundamental shift in the values that govern our world today. It's a sobering reminder of how different our reality could have been and the high stakes of the conflicts that shaped our modern age. Thinking about this alternate history is fascinating, but it also makes you appreciate the world we live in, despite its flaws. What do you think would be the biggest change in a world like this? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into history.